All right, my Forex family. All right, my Forex family. This is Sydney Guajardo coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas. And we are the Trading Places. Let's get after it. Let's start with gold. All right, guys. So just give you step by step on the way I look for trades. And I'm going to continue to, we evolve as, you do things over and over again. You start making changes and that's how you become better at your craft, right? So I'm just going to start sharing with you guys what I do. So I do the same thing at 3 o'clock in the morning as I do now. I go to my first trade, so I have all these trade symbols here, gold, US 30, and then I move on to Forex. So this is the way I want you guys to do it. If you want, it works for me. But this is what I like to look at, is the King Solomon with my signals here. And what I do is, first thing I do is look for a trend. Okay, so I don't know how many candles are on here. Let's just call it, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And so there's about 50 candles on here. So this represents 50 hours. You can't tell a trend based on 50 hours worth of candles. So what I do, I can still look at it this way, and sometimes I do because I like looking at the our little money tree here, or our money street. Does that still come up? Yeah, it does. So what I do is I expand it, and you obviously see that it's moving in an upward direction, right? So, whoops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to do the arrow. So obviously it's going up, right? So you still can't see a picture because all you can see is the lowest and the highest. So in order, something would severely have to happen for it to drop $100, and I've been through that before, sometime in March or April. Yeah, that was rough for a lot of people. I just happened to be in the position going north. I was trying to scalp, and we're at a barbecue during the week, and I was scalping, and I don't know what happened, but I took it north, and all of a sudden I have $100,000 in my account. It was crazy. Too bad it was a demo account. But anyway, I was trying a different strategy, and it worked. Actually, this is when I was developing the Rochelle. But anyway, you can't. My point is, you can't see what's the big picture in here, because you in order for it to make a move, you'd have to see some good support and resistance lines. So just to give you an example, are you going to see a good support resistance line here? The only place you're going to be able to see that is right here. That's it. So you'll be able to see it right there. That's all you have. Just a week's worth of work. That's nothing. Sometimes money comes back home or to the support and resistance line from a month ago, 6 months ago. Let me show you something. Okay, so you see this right here? You see how the body of the candle lines up right here? You see these are wicks, right? What it is here is there's some people in this position, and these institutional traders, they can see pending orders. So when you're taking this short, right, you put a stop loss for risk management. What does everybody do? They always go about 10 pips past the Fibonacci line. That's what you're taught. So what institutional traders will do, they'll go out and get 10, 15 pips just to make and knock everybody out. So what they're doing is they're gaining liquidity so they can move your pairs. When a pair is going up, institutional traders are preparing to go down. So you have to have reverse type of thinking. I know we're kind of getting into it. It could be a little bit advanced, but just remember that and put it like a little feather in your hat. Okay. So anytime you see a body line up, it's good to put a fib line there, but you also have to be aware that this is where the trade pair can go. So The wick is very, very important. Okay. But so anyway, at some point in time, before this goes low, before it goes low, just like it did here, the trade pair will get to its highest point and knock out all these stop losses here and then come down. It did it again here. Look at this. And if you measure it, I guarantee it's somewhere around 10 pips. Look at this. Let me put another line here. It's one more line. It's not going to be exactly, but it's going to be pretty damn close. So now let's go to our chart calculator. 6.5 pips. Points. Okay. Let's do this one. 9.65. It's right there. It is right there. So this is why it's important to make sure and put your support resistance lines at the top of the wick. Go to the highest, and the lowest, lowest. But anyway, let's get back to work. So right here, my go-to page or my go-to chart to start looking for trades is on a 240. Chart looks totally different, kind of. The reason why this one is still kind of frustrating is because gold has taken such a sharp trend up. There's not a lot of support and resistance. Now it was going sideways here, so this would be a very good place to start. So if the trade, gold is a bad example because it really dictates how fiat currency is measured. So, but when you have a normal like euro dollars, euro dollar, this is a bad example too because it's just gone up so far. Let me see. Okay, right here. Do you see it's gone up and down, up and down, up and down. So if this is the lowest part, it has a lot of real estate to go. Well, how far can it go? Well, if you go to the highest point, it could have the potential of coming here, right? But more than likely, when it goes up, you see how it's moved up maybe, what is this, maybe 50 pips or whatever? So these things move at 50 pips at a time, especially in the summer. Every trade pair has a certain amount of pips it moves during the day. Here in September, this is when Forex really cranks up. Okay, so let's say the pound NZD, that one moves maybe 100 pips a day right now. Well, in the winter, starting in like maybe late August, September, man, those things move like 200, 250 pips, maybe 300 pips a day. So this is all good information that you pick up during experience that I'm going to start sharing with you guys. But let's, and it may just be gibberish for everybody, but it all comes in handy. These are the kind of things that come into your head when you're trading. Let me erase some of this stuff here. So gold, I don't see it. Let's erase some of this stuff. Why is it erasing? There it is. Okay, whoops. Okay, so the lowest point that gold has been is right here. It kind of shares it right there, so that's a good one. And the highest is where we had this mark up before. So it's obviously moving down. Now this is kind of a strange situation. Gold hit its all-time high today, about 2-3 hours ago, 1980. And it hit that last week too. So if it goes up again, if it hits here, more than likely it's going to bounce. If this was a normal trade pair, it's going to bounce and come back down. Now, how far will it come? Let's go. Let's look at it right here. This is how you read charts. I would put my take profit right there. But I would look for it to start to sputter a little bit at this support line. Look how many times this has gone here. Now, when I tell you that money always tries to come back home, it does. I'm going to show you some good examples here of how the money comes up and it takes everybody's stop losses and it comes back down. It'll retest and then shoot back down. These are called pattern traders. We don't trade patterns because they have a very, very low risk rate. There's a big company right now called IML Markets. A real good friend of mine trades with them. And when he makes a trade, he'll do 100 pips, right? They're monster trades. But he'll go through 7 or 8 trades and lose, 10 pips a trade. So who wants to lose 80 pips just to make 20? I mean, that doesn't make any sense at all. We look for trend, and we pick up I'll pick up maybe 5 or 6 trades a day. Today I didn't. There was a lot of news. For those of you who are just joining in all over the world, I have students all over the world because we had a lot of new signups. First thing I want you to do every day is look at the Forex Factory. Today there's a lot of news. Tomorrow, pending home sales, 9 a.m. Oh no, that already happened. So 16%. It actually went up. So I guarantee I turned off the computer today at 9 o'clock. I guarantee when you go to any USD pairs, a red folder means important news. So 16% actual. We're forecasted. So ask me, real estate is fantastic. It's gone down a little bit. Well, a lot. But what do you expect? We're in a world pandemic, but we're getting back. Okay. 1 p.m. FOMC statement that has, let me see here. See what happened. Fed Reserve Chair, more hawkish than expected, good for currency. This is good. I guarantee we had some, just keep that in your notes. Next trade pair we look at. So you want to basically look at, the Federal Reserve went down a quarter point. This is good. I guarantee we're going to have some good news on the forefront. All right. So let's take a look. This one's going to be obvious. Right now, during this pandemic, during times like this, usually the yen is usually pretty strong. I don't know why. It's weird. And the gold, the yen goes opposite of US 30 is what I've seen. So I can continue to say that, or I could venture to say that gold, it will continue to go up. So how far? Who knows? There's even talks that the gold, we may be going back to the gold standard, which that's going to be a very rough ride. Okay, it's a big change. So anyway, actually at the end of any type of gold standard, at the end result will be good because now the actual dollar, whatever currency you're dealing with, has some substance to it. Right now, the only reason the dollar is very strong, well, it's getting weaker as we speak, but without a pandemic, the dollar is very stronger than normal because you have to trade oil with it. So we're the only country that can buy oil with our own currency. Everywhere else has to use our currency. But anyway, if you're going to use gold, I would definitely scalp it. That's just my opinion. There's probably other people out there that train Forex and how to trade this. They just stay long. And are they right? Shit, yeah, they're right. Look at that. It just took off like crazy. But it could easily go the other way. It's like handling a slippery fish. Okay, let's go back to 60. And let's see what US 30 did today. It went up. Look at that. Good news. It went up. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So, one thing about US 30, or the indices is what they call them. There's German 30, there's the DAC, which is the same thing. German 30, US 30, and I don't know what the other ones are called. I really don't pay attention to them. But these do follow support and resistance. So anytime that you're going to trade, I like trading US 30 with the Rochelle because it seems like even though that the US 30 does respect support and resistance, it'll test it all the time. So let me just give you an example. I wish I can replay this, but we don't have enough time. So right here is the highest point recently. I'm just going to use this for right now. And the lowest point is right here. Okay, now let's find a good support resistance in here somewhere. Right there. That's a good one. So do you see how it just kissed it and came back down, kissed it and came back down? It picked up some pending deals and came back down. It really respects the support and resistance. It just really does. And every time it's going up to there, it'll sputter. Sometimes it'll stay there for 10 minutes. It just drives you nuts because you don't know if it's going to shoot back down or go back up. But the rules of trend and the way I teach are very well respected with the US 30, with the indices. So the only time that it's not is when there's news. Yes. So like if we get some kind of surprise bombing like we did this year in January when Iran bombed Iraq or something at the airport. Yeah, it has. And you can also use linear regression. Look at this. You see his line here? It follows linear regression. Look at this. See this line right here? It might as well be a straight line too. See, it touched it. It came back down. Boom, boom, boom. Came back up, came back down. Boom, it came back up here. Always beware. When you're close to a fib line, to a line, when you're going up, this line is a resistance line. Like this line would be a resistance line. Take caution. Anytime that you're in a trade that's going north, like right here, let's say this trade was going north and it hit this line, the highest it's ever been. You should tell when you're getting ready to take a trade, you should know where the highest point was, because it's a lot to ask for a trade pair to go higher than it's ever been recently. Okay. So let's say you're coming up here and it comes really close to this line. I'd get out. You always also have to keep in mind what time it is. It's 6:17. Not that big of the most popular candle that people trade on is the 1 hour. So if this trade pair, if you're in it, you're making money and it's coming up to this resistance line and it's 9:59 in the morning or whatever, and it's struggling to get past this resistance line, what would you do? That's right. Close out. Because even if you're losing $100 or whatever, I would still get out. And the reason why, because sometimes it bounces and it comes down a little bit and then it shoots right back up. For the first couple of minutes, it's very volatile. But there's sometimes that resistance line, or even this right here, this support line. This support line right here, this is support and this is resistance for right now. When it's going up, this line is resistance. When it's coming down, this is support. Okay. Sometimes these things act like trampolines. It hits the line and it just shoots up. Look at this. That's a big retracement right there. I'm not going to say it happens in 5 seconds, but it happens. It happens quickly. So if you see a trade pair and it's struggling to get through there, and you look at the clock, just get out. Save yourself some time. And if it breaks through, get back in it. All that's going to do is just cost you a little bit of commission, that little extra fee that they charge. I'd rather have that than, lose a bunch of pips. So a little bit of tidbit there. Put it in your hat there. But let me erase all this stuff here. Okay, so US 30, we won't look for, this is a good way to find out, look for some trades. So right now, this is kind of a trend line here too. See it hit there? So what I would do, since it looks like US 30, it looks like it's on an uptrend. And there's talks right now that that there may be a vaccine. And I think there's some pressures since the beginning of hydrochlor something, that drug. It's a real long word. They're saying it may work. And they haven't done clinical. I was even reading an article today that even our president took some for 2 or 3 weeks, and it didn't do anything. He's an older dude. He's 74 years old or whatever. And I would hate to think that our world economy would shut down because the pharmaceutical companies weren't going to make money by applying for this patent again, because they say hydrochloroquine or whatever it is a very, very, very inexpensive drug, and the side effects are few. The money's in the vaccines. Bill Gates has donated so much money, him and Dr. Fauci together. I've even heard that they want to reduce population by vaccine. So I could see where there's some type of incentive for them to have a vaccine other than something that works. But if this thing works, you think, right now, the Dow Jones it ended the day at 26,539, which is extremely high. The previous administration, I think the highest was 18,000. And we're in a world pandemic, guys, and it's at 26.5. And we're still, even when we have one leg, we're hogtied and two hands behind our back, the United States is still a power to be reckoned with. We are still killing it. So can you imagine, with all the deregulation that happened, with the interest rates being this low, the market can go up to $40,000. This would be a very, very robust economy. So when you start hearing things that the medicine's going to be released, start betting on US 30 to go long. So you, even though we're not news traders, pay attention to the news. So if I was going to go north on this one, what I would do is I would wait. You could take it right here. I'd start looking, but since US 30 moves so much, I would just wait till it got here. Because if it gets here, what can it do? Look what all the other ones have done. It got here and it bounced. Right here, it bounced, 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 bounced. It even broke through to come to this side. So take the trade there if you can, if you have to, but just know that it may come back here and bounce back up. The safe bet is to take it right there. Let me show you. Right there. That's the place to take it, right there. Once it breaks that, boom, take it. Not when it gets there. Take it when it breaks through, okay? And if you're 2 or 3 minutes away from another candle coming through and it breaks, let's say it's 9:59 and it breaks there, wait till it's 10 o'clock to get to the next one. That's what I would do. I would wait till it breaks this resistance line, wait till the clock turns, and then break it. I mean, it always has a chance of coming down, but if it breaks this resistance, all the other ones bounced right off of it. So especially with good news like this, I mean, it was the US 30 was, let me see. So when was this? Vertical line, the highest, just recently the highest was here. So this was just a couple of days ago, right? A couple of days ago here. So if this thing blasts through, it can come up here tonight. Just wait until it goes through here and then take it north. That's what I would do. But make sure, and when you're doing the US 30, you're going to scalp, use the Rochelle indicator. All right, let's go to Forex. I know I kind of rattled on a little bit here. I have a meeting with that hedge fund that I trade, and it's getting rather late in Australia right now, so I'm going to go through one trade pair. But Euro USD, let's go to the highest point here. No, right there. Highest point here, and the lowest points right here. Include the wick or the shadow, okay? So it looks like, since this is the highest point, my bet is I would wait for a signal from King Solomon to take this short, okay? There's a lot of the good things going on. It's way at the top. Let's look at the 240 just to be sure. Yeah, it hasn't been down in this area for a long time, okay? So I'd be looking for a short call. As a matter of fact, if you erase this linear right here, it's already starting to turn red. It bounced off of here and came down. The market closed. So I would definitely be taking a sharp look at that tonight to bounce and come down here. Okay. Now, it's had its run. I don't know. I mean, it could just blast through that resistance line, but definitely keep an eye on what this is going to do. So, but I'm going to be looking for, I never like taking trades that are at all-time high. I like looking at trades when they're all-time high, but guess what I'm looking for? For it to come down. And when they bounce down hard. And when I say hard, you can pick up 20, 30 pips, and then it'll eventually just start trickling down like this. But any type of movement, I'd be aware on a long call here. Even though King Solomon said, hey, take this thing long, and it went, but it also bounced and came back down. So just beware on that one. But anyway, guys, Wednesday is always short. We have a one meeting deal with the Aussies. Tomorrow we'll do a mix of working the indicators and looking for trades. We have approximately 3 or 4 more weeks before the low volume ends, and September is the season for Forex. And it's like that all the way through November. September, October, November is good. About the first 2 weeks of December is good, and then it kind of turns into the summer again for another couple of weeks, and then just kicks off for 6-7 months. And so there's a couple of months in Forex. Every month in Forex is good, but it's just better when there's a lot of volume. But anyway, guys, thanks for hopping on, and I'll shortly put this thing on YouTube so everybody can enjoy it and learn some stuff. And we're going to go heavy into reading charts. I want all my students to learn how to find trades instead of relying on the indicators, okay? You can do really good in Forex just by doing the indicators, but I want my students to know the Forex game. So anyway, from San Antonio, Sid Guajardo and Trading Places, thank you for coming in, and make sure, like I said, we're put on this planet to help people that can't help themselves. So be nice to somebody. Feels good. All right. Thank you very much. We'll see you. Bye-bye.